Okay. मयि निर्बंध हृदयाः साधवः समदर्शना वसे कुर्वन्ति मां भक्त्या सत स्त्रियः सत्पतिं यथा. 9.4.66. Mai unto me nirbandha hridaya, firmly attached in the core of the heart, sadhava, the pure devotees, samadarshana, who are equal to everyone, vase, under control, kurvanti, they make mam unto me, bhaktya, by devotion service, sat striya, chaste women, satpatim, unto the gentle husband, yatha, as chaste women bring their gentle husbands under control by service. The pure devotees who are equal to everyone and completely attached to me in the core of the heart bring me under their full control. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In this verse, the word samdarshana is significant. The pure devotee is actually equal toward everyone. Pandita Samdarshana also said Bhagavad Gita. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 18.54, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na sochati na kankshati samah sarveshu bhutesu. Samah sarveshu bhutesu. This is the person who is highly elevated in bhakti. He sees everyone as equal. Universal brotherhood. Universal brotherhood is possible when one is a pure devotee. Without becoming devotee of Krishna, universal brotherhood will not come. Pandita Samdarshina. A pure devotee. So this is from 5th chapter Bhagavad Gita 18th sloka. Pandita Samdarshina. Vidya Vinay Sampanne Brahmani Vyasthini Suni Chaiva Swapakecha Pandita Samdarshana. A pure devotee is actually learned because he knows his constitutional position. What is that? He knows the position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and he knows the relationship between the living entity and the Supreme Lord. What is my constitutional position? I am soul, part and parcel of Krishna. And what is Supreme Lord? He is Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And what is the relationship? I am the servant and Krishna is my eternal master. I am eternal servant of Krishna. So, in this way, this is a relation between Jiva and Supreme Lord. The Jiva Swarupa Krishna Nityadas, eternal servant of Supreme Lord. Thus he has full spiritual knowledge and is automatically liberated. Okay. So automatically he is liberated because he is in the full knowledge. So he can therefore see everyone on the spiritual platform. He can comprehend the happiness and distress of living entities. He understands that what is happiness to him is also happiness to others, and that what is distress to him is distressing for others. So he can understand that, right? The person who is in that high state of consciousness, he knows that this thing, if it is pleasing to me, it will please others also. And if it is distress, if it is problem for me, then it will give problem to others. It will give distress to others also. Therefore, he is sympathetic to everyone. As Prahlad Maharaj said, Soche tato vimukh chetasa indriyartha maya sukhaya bharam udvato vimudan. People suffer from material distress because, why people are suffering in this material world? Because they are not attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because people are not attached to Krishna, so they are suffering in this material world. Okay. A pure devotee's chief concern, therefore, is to raise the ignorant mass of people to the sense of Krishna consciousness. Okay. So, ideally, a devotee is equal to everyone. He can understand the pain of others, and that is why he is sympathetic to others and he want to help others. So the best help he does is that he makes them devotee of Krishna. Okay. So Krishna is saying that I am hard to control by Brahmavadis like you. He is saying to Durvasa Muni. But I am controlled by my devotees. Brahmavadis cannot control me. They may be doing so much yoga and mystic this thing, but I am controlled only by my devotees. Why? Because their heart is fixed in me. They are without material desires and see others suffering as their own. Okay, samadarsana, they can see others suffering as their own suffering. Para dukh dukhi. Okay, devotees are para dukh dukhi. Okay, and they are sadhva. Sadhu means without having any material desires. Yes. Okay. So Krishna is. So here it is both positions are established because their hearts are attached to me. Nirbadh Hridaya, because these devotees of mine, their heart is completely attached to me. These devotees are sadhva, like they have no material desires, they are not cheating others, and samadarsana means they are equal to everyone, and they are devoid of rag and dvesha. They are beyond this. Rag and dvesha means attachment and anger and all those things. So they control me. These kind of devotees control me. Krishna is saying how they control? By bhakti. Okay, so the example here will show bhakti with prominence of friendship. Okay, 67. Mat sevaya pratitam te salokyadi chatushayam nechanti sevaya purna kuto anyat kala viplutam. Mat sevya, by being engaged fully in my transcendental loving service, patitam, automatically achieved. Te, such pure devotees are fully satisfied. Salokya adi chatushtayam, the four different types of liberation. Salokya, sarupya, samipya and sasti. What to speak of sayujya? Na, not ichanti, desire sevya simply by devotional service. Purna, fully complete. Kutaha, where is the question? Anyat, other things. Kala viplutam, which are finished in the course of time. My devotees who are always satisfied to be engaged in my loving service are not interested even in the four principles of liberation, Salokya, Sarup, Samip and Sasti, although these are automatically achieved by their service. Krishna is saying that my devotees, they are not at all interested in four type of muktis. So that does not mean that they are interested in the fifth type. No. They are saying that they are not interested because fifth is the lowest one. Okay, so they are devotees of Krishna. They are not at all interested about Salokya, Sarup, Samip and Sasti. Then what to speak of Sayuj, which is lowest one. Okay, so although these liberations are automatically achieved by, they will be given to them, but still they are not interested. So what then is to be said of such perishable happiness as elevation to the higher planetary system? So when they are not, they don't want even the liberation or Salokya, Sarupya, Samip and Sasti, these sides of liberation, then what to speak of going to Swarga? That they won't even think about. Okay. So, the point is that Krishna is saying that my devotees are not interested even in liberation. Srila Vilva Mangal Thakur has estimated the value of liberation as follows. Mukti Swayam Muktali Anjali Sevate Ismandhar Martha Kama Gatiha Samaya Pratiksha. Vilva Mangal Thakur realized that if one develops his natural devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, then what happens? Mukti stands before him. If somebody becomes pure devotee of Krishna, then Mukti stands before him with the folded hands to offer all kinds of service. Mukti, Mukti Swayam Mukulitanjali Sevate. Mukti with folded hands ask for service. How can I serve you? Mukti will ask pure devotee. That is Bilwa Mangal Thakur's realization. In other words, the devotee is already liberated. There is no need for him to aspire for different types of liberation. What is the point? He is anyway liberated. The pure devotee automatically achieves liberation even without desiring it. For them it will automatically it will come. So this verse shows their high position because of their lack of material desires. So when we have less material desire, our positions are high. But when we are having more material desire, our position from the spiritual point of view is low. na? So people who have so much desire for material things like money and vehicles, car, home, houses, big house, big flats, very costly dresses, many dresses, many sorts of things they have. They want to decorate themselves, they want to do makeup, they want to put so many things so that they become attractive to the world. So any material desire, if material desires bring us down, okay, so the devotees don't have any material desires, so though these types of liberation are achieved automatically, but still devotees do not desire any sorts of liberation. These types of liberation are not destroyed by time, whereas other things such as attaining Brahmaloka are destroyed. So these four type of mukti, they will not be destroyed, but other thing can be destroyed due course of time or in different situation. Okay, so the point is here that devotees do not even ask for mukti. That's what Mahaprabhu said, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kapitam, va jagdish kam, mama janmani, janmani isware bhavatat, bhakti rahit kidai. What I want, I don't want even dhanam, janam, sundarim, whatever. But what I want, that means you want mukti. No, janam, that means I don't want mukti. So, devotees don't want mukti even. But what they want, mama janmani, janmani isware bhavatat, bhakti rahit kidai. Birth after birth, if I get so many birth also, I request that I remain engaged in the service of Krishna, in the service of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So devotee's desire is to serve Krishna. He wants service. That's it. Okay. So Krishna is showing the extreme sacrifice of the devotees. Like Salokya and this much sacrifice. So if we want to become devotee of Krishna, we have to sacrifice many things. Here Krishna is saying, I love these devotees because they are even sacrificing Salokya, even sacrificing the top class of liberation. So these devotees are not perishable. I protect these devotees always. Okay. So liberation like Salokya, Samipya and all these things, these will never be finished. They will always there. They are eternal things. But devotees are not even devotees are sacrificing these eternal things also for the service of Krishna. So what to speak of these temporary things which will be finished, and one may get a very high class things in the material world, but anyway it will be finished one day. So devotees have no desire for all these things. Okay. Now comes the very famous shloka of Srimad Bhagavatam. Very famous, very sweet. Sadhavo hridayam mayyam sadhunam hridayam tvaham mad anyatte na janati naham tebhyo managapi. Very beautiful. Sadhava, the pure devotees, hridayam in the core of the heart, mayyam of me, sadhunam of the pure devotees also, hridayam in the core of the heart too, indeed I am. Mat anyat, anything else but me, te, they, na, not janati, no, na, not aham, I, tebhya, then them, manakapi, even by a little fraction. Okay, so nice. Krishna is saying the pure devotee is always within the core of my heart. Okay, the pure devotee, sadhavo, hridayam mahyam. Sadhavo, the pure devotee is my very heart. Okay, so implied what pains him. I am the heart of the pure devotee. Sadhunam hridayam tam aham. What pleases Krishna most is my devotees do not know anything else but me. Okay, so Krishna is saying that sadhava hridayam mayam, that means the pure devotee is always within my heart, they live in my heart, and sadhunam hridayam tam, and I am living in their heart. So devotees are living in the heart of Krishna, Krishna is living in the heart of devotees. And mad anyat te na janati, and my devotees do not know anything else except me. They know only about Krishna, they don't know anything else. And naham tebhyo managapi, and I do not know anything else than my devotees. So in Krishna's heart, who is staying? Devotee. In devotee's heart, who is staying? Krishna. What devotees know only thing is Krishna. What Krishna know only thing is devotees. That's it. Okay, so pure devotees in my heart and I am in their hearts. That's what Krishna is saying. So since Durvasa Muni wanted to chastise Maharaj Ambarish, it is to be understood that he wanted to give pain to the heart of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because pure devotee is living in the heart of the Supreme Lord. For the Lord says, Sadhvo Hridayam Mahyam, the pure devotee is always within the core of my heart. So Durvasa Muni is giving pain to the Lord's heart. The Lord's feelings are like those of a father who feels pain when his child is in pain. Therefore, offences at the lotus feet of a devotee are serious. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has very strongly recommended that one not commit any offence at the lotus feet of a devotee. Such offences are compared to a mad elephant, because when a mad elephant enters a garden, it causes devastation. Therefore, one should be extremely careful not to commit offences at the lotus feet of a pure devotee. No offence. Even for chanting cannot protect, because for chanting the first offence is this only, not to, and that if somebody offends a devotee, that is very grave offence against the holy name. So actually Maharaj Ambarish was not at all at fault. Durvasa Muni unnecessarily wanted to chastise him on flimsy grounds. Maharaj Ambarish wanted to complete the Ekadashi Paran as part of devotional service to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore he drank a little water. But although Durvasa Muni was a great mystic Brahmana, he did not know what is what. That is the difference between a pure devotee and a so-called learned scholar of Vedic knowledge. So, difference between a Vedic knowledge scholar and a pure devotee. Here it is, okay. So the devotees, being always situated in the core of the Lord's heart, surely get all instruction directly from the Lord, as confirmed by the Lord himself in Bhagavad Gita 10:11. Tesham evanukampartam agyam jama tamahanashyami atmabhavostho jnana deepena bhaswata. Out of compassion for them, Krishna is saying, out of compassion for my devotee, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. The devotee does not do anything not sanctioned by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A devotee will not do any activity which is not sanctioned by Krishna. So, Krishna, that's why Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita. What and all Krishna wants, he said in Bhagavad Gita. So, except Krishna's instruction, devotee will not do anything. Anything which is not sanctioned by Krishna, he will not perform. So, as it is said, Vaishnaver Kriya Mudra Vijay Na Bujhai. Even the most learned or experienced person cannot understand the movements of a Vaishnava, a pure devotee. No one therefore should criticize a pure Vaishnava. A Vaishnava knows his own business. Whatever he does is precisely right, because he is always guided by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we cannot understand what devotee is doing. Sometimes we may look from external, why this devotee is doing like this, why is getting angry, why is not doing this, why is not doing this. So external point of view, sometimes we look that he is a devotee but he is doing like this. But what it is, Vaishnavar Kriya Mudra Bhujena Vijay. A very learned person also cannot understand the activities of a Vaishnava. Why he is doing this? You cannot understand. So one should not use his mental speculation in order to understand a devotee, because sometimes the offense will happen. So no one should criticize a devotee. Okay. So a Vaishnava, because a Vaishnava is pure Vaishnava, is always knows what is his business. He will not engage in any wrong activities. So why? Because he is always guided by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay. So okay, 68 it is, right? So Krishna saying that, though I want to give you the suitable result for causing pain to my devotee. You have disturbed my devotee. I want to give you some result. I do not do so. Understand that this is because I am affectionate to Brahmanas. So one good thing is that I should punish you, but I am not punishing you because I am loving Brahmanas. So that is expressed in this verse. The devotees are my heart. You who wanted to afflict my Ambrish, my devotee, have afflicted my heart. Because devotees are my heart, so you have given pain to Ambrish Maharaj, means you have directly given pain to my heart. Krishna is saying. So if I have offended you, then I fall at your feet for forgiveness. And the devotee's heart, when the devotee's heart is pleased, I am pleased. So go to Ambrish Maharaj and please him. Okay, because if Durvasa say, okay, I have offended you, then I am asking for forgiveness. So Krishna is saying, I am the devotee's heart. So you have, when the heart is pleased, I am pleased. So if you want to please me, you go to Ambrish Maharaj because he is my heart. So you go to Ambrish Maharaj and please him. Okay, so Durvasa Muni will say, but Ambrish Maharaj invited me and then he did not feed me, and he instead insisted he without feeding me he only ate. So do you not see his fault? He should eat, he should feed me first. So Krishna is saying that devotees, they do not know anything except me. Ambrish does what I desire him to do. In my heart now. Okay, so therefore I ask you, please reply. Between a Brahman and a Dwadasi, which is more respectable as dharma? Respecting this Brahman or following the Dwadasi, that Vrata? So which is more important? So please go ask Ambrish, he will teach you, since you are so ignorant of the conclusions of the scriptures on dharma. Many learned people, they know many things, but they don't know the conclusion of scriptures. So they are doing so many activities. So do not have any shame about this. I also have no knowledge. Krishna is saying, I have no knowledge. If you want to know, you go to Ambrish Maharaj. He only will teach you. I do not know anything more than they do. What my devotees know, more than that I don't know anything. Since the Shruti says that drinking water is both eating and not eating, so no problem. So Ambrish has equally respected the Brahman and the Dwadasi. Krishna is saying that Ambrish Maharaj found out perfect solution. But you don't know. So you should go and learn from him. Okay. So Ambrish has equally respected the Brahman and the Dwadasi. But you are ignorant. You do not know that this is hinted here. And he had not asked Ambrish about this, in order that he could understand the superiority of bhakti concerning the Dwadasi over all dharma, by showing him the result of his action. So you see, even Krishna is saying that even though some disrespect happened, but following Ekadashi, following Dwadasi means Ekadashi Vrata and breaking fast on Dwadasi at that same time. So following Ekadashi is that much important, because Krishna is saying Ekadashi should not be broke or stopped at any cost. It is the topmost thing to perform. Okay. So because without anybody who does Ekadasi, he pleases Lord very much. And who Krishna says very clearly, anybody who eats grains on Ekadasi is the most sinful person. Krishna does not like him at all if he eats grains. That is the biggest sin. Okay, so here you see, following Ekadashi, Krishna gave more priority than the Brahmana. So Ekadashi Dwadashi Vrata is more important than Dwadashi, than Brahmana. Ekadashi, following Ekadashi, breaking fast in that particular time on Dwadashi is very, very important. So Krishna is saying that Ambrish Maharaj know very well. So he gave priority to completing the fast, because that is the part of devotion service. So he gave me priority. So that is very important. So among Dwadasi and Brahmana, which is more important? Dwadasi is important. That's what Krishna is saying here. Okay. Okay, so here this misunderstanding between Durvasa Muni and Maharaj Ambrish So as a result of this misunderstanding, Durvasa Muni tried to kill the Ambarish Maharaj. Then Sudarshan Chakra came, and then this whole episode happened. So when the Sudarshan Chakra attacked Durvasa Muni, he fled in fear of the weapon and sought shelter from all the great demigods in heaven, Brahma and Shiva, everybody. Okay, so, but nobody was able to protect Durvasa Muni. Then he went to even Vishnu and asked for forgiveness. Lord Vishnu advised him that if he wanted forgiveness, he had to get it from Maharaj Ambarish. Krishna said, I even cannot forgive you. You just go, whatever now can do to you anyone, that is Ambarish Maharaj. So you go to him. Okay. So in this context, Lord Vishnu spoke this thing that the Lord, so the Lord being full and free from problems can wholeheartedly care for his devotees. Krishna. Okay, Krishna's concern is how to elevate and protect all those who have taken shelter at his feet. Krishna gives protection, Poshanam. So, Bhagavatam talks about this topic, Poshana. Out of 10, one is Poshana, where Krishna gives protection to the devotee. Krishna's concern is how he can elevate his devotees and how he can protect his devotees. So, the same responsibility is also given to the spiritual master. So, this bona fide spiritual master's concern, a bona fide Pramanic Guru, bona fide spiritual master always is very much concerned about the devotees who have surrendered to him as a representative of the Lord. So as a representative of the Lord, so what concern is that? That Guru's concern is always that these disciples will make progress in bhakti. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead is always mindful of the devotees who fully engage in cultivating knowledge of him. Okay, having taken shelter at his lotus feet. So the way Krishna is always concerned about the devotees, Guru is always concerned about the devotees. And what is the concern? That how these devotees can elevate more and more towards Krishna in Krishna Bhakti, how we can protect their bhakti. So that is the concern of Guru and Krishna. Hare Krishna, thank you so much. Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Anant Koti Vaishnava Vrind ki jai.